local and state elections is the only place where you are actually allowed to practice democracy in this country. So it's very important, if you care about practicing democracy, that you do it when you can. Um, it only comes around every once in a while. So, and if I can add, these two initiatives are some of the most important and honestly progressive that have come around in a long time. So, and they could shape the future of so many lives. It's actually disgusting. Okay, I just want to make everyone very clear to this point. I uh, don't believe in unbiased media. Anytime you hear information from some person or read it from a book or see it in your own experience, there will always be a bias to any information that you have. So what I think is most important when giving people information is telling them where I'm coming from. I'm a leftist, I'm a socialist. I think that people should have the right to make medical decisions for themselves. I think that we need to end the war on drugs. We've demonstrably failed at that. It's a lost battle, dude. And we're just making it worse. And that's my position. So let's get right into it. So each state has their own constitution, just like the U.S. Constitution, and it works pretty much in the same way, right? It's just like a bottom line. These are the rules. Build the laws on top of it, kind of deal. So it's confusing because when we voted on issue one, when was it? August 8th, we voted on issue one. Now this issue one in on August 8th, it would make it so that Ohioans would be required to have a 60% vote on any future constitutional amendments to the Ohio state constitution. So basically, right now we have a 50%, which is a little bit more democratic, right? Because once you pass 50%, that's the majority of people. So they were proposing for August 8th's issue one that if it passed, that it would require a 60% vote to make these amendments to our Constitution. Now, this was done in retaliation to the right to make reproductive decisions, including abortion initiative, which is issue one, November 7th. This is the issue one that we're going to be voting on November 7th. So they knew that this one was coming. This is a constitutional amendment to the Ohio Constitution, right? So they figured they could get enough people to vote to make it so that you need 60% of people to vote for constitutional amendments. Very, I know, very redundant. Bro, what's so messed up? They would try to pass that. I know, I know. They were literally like, no, we want to do less democracy. They were like, no, I hate democracy. I hate when people vote. Right before the abortion vote, it was on purpose. So they did that to block, because if we had failed to shut down the August 8th issue one, they would have had a field day crushing the right to make reproductive decisions, including abortion initiative, which is what we're voting on November 7th. So on November 7th, this is our upcoming election. Voters will decide on the right to make reproductive decisions, including abortion initiative, which would amend the Ohio Constitution to provide, it would ensure that every individual has the right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions. This will solidify Ohioans' rights to getting health care, oftentimes life-saving, definitely always life-altering health care, because it's under attack for some fucking reason in this godforsaken country. So vote yes if you agree with me on allowing an 11-year-old to get an abortion. If you think that people should be allowed to choose when they start a family, if they even do, if they even want that for their lives, if you believe in that, you would vote yes for issue 1. So, yeah. So, initiative 2, issue 2, voters will decide on the marijuana legalization initiative, which, if approved, would make Ohio the 24th state. Kind of late to the game, but whatever. It would make Ohio the 24th state to legalize marijuana for recreational or personal use. So the reason why I want to point out that the marijuana legalization initiative is far more important than I want to smoke weed. So this is a graph of the Ohio imprisonment rate from 1880 to 2016. It's scaled to the population, of course. So it's not just by the population boom. So here we have alcohol prohibition, which is also something that's very important to this conversation. When you just straight prohibit and criminalize the use of drugs, it's just asinine. We tried it with prohibition. We tried, just banning alcohol, which, on face value seems like a great fucking idea, right? The most like detrimental poison to like most people. let's just make it illegal and then they won't do it. Well, people still did it and they went to jail for it. If you know anything about like prison and like prison populations across the world, America has the highest prison population per capita by far, by like super far. So we put people in jail like there's no fucking tomorrow. Okay? So yeah, so it kind of staggers a bit, there's almost starting to go down, it looks like. And then the drug war began where people start cracking down like crazy on non-violent offenders and just throw them in jail. This of course does not solve the problem. It only pushes it off until years in the future when they get out of jail, or even just onto their children because they don't have a parent. Why marijuana was illegal in the first place, it comes from racism, because you might have heard that weed is like a I don't know how, like, the exact verbiage of it, but it was associated with black people. And when you criminalize a specific drug that is known to be like, also that's not like a modern day statistic, and I don't even know if it was real back then, but black people will be prosecuted for it far more than white people. If you ask me, it's because we have a large, hugely funded gang of thugs that run, they're called the police, and they are racist just as a institution, and so they choose to prosecute and pull over, traffic stop, murder black people, primarily black men and teenagers. And so that's why our prison population has a lot of, you guessed it, black people. Something that I wanted to point out, something that really gets to me about this whole thing is, like, we have this system, right, that we put young black men in jail, just black men in jail primarily, and for smoking weed, right, or for having it or selling it or whatever. And then in these privately owned prisons by people who are making a profit, right? It's not like a government institution. It is making a profit. Will resource their prisoners for labor, right? So that they can work for a discounted rate, like cents on the dollar. So they have a system where primarily black people go into, and then in that system they can make money, cents on the dollar, by doing labor. If you ask me, that sounds like racialized slavery. So I would say that we still do racialized slavery in America today. So this is very important in the downsizing how we imprison nonviolent offenders. And that's why I think that this one is super important. Yeah, so American prison is strictly for punishment, right? It's all about punishing criminals, punishing black people, punishing uh undesirables. It's all about punishment. It's all about these are our enemies and we want to put them in jail, right? That is kind of like the whole mechanism behind it that allows it to function as it does. Um, when we have there's systems in Sweden where their prison system is a lot more rehabilitation focused, because when you put someone in jail they don't just go away, they're still alive while they're in there that whole time. They're alive, they're in these shit conditions, and but when you focus on rehabilitation you end up getting you can take care of somebody and show them like that there is good in this world, that they don't have to be they don't have to do drugs, they don't have to be drug dealers. They can they can be really productive members of society and enrich their communities and make the world a better place. But you can't show people that who have been criminalized. So free nonviolent drug offenders, free nonviolent prisoners, period. I, this is my personal opinion. Nonviolent, don't care. Jail is not the answer at all. Rehabilitation, sure, but our jail system that we have now, it'll just make it worse. So for issue 2 on November 7th, the marijuana legalization initiative. If you believe that we should end racialized slavery in Ohio, you will vote yes to issue 2 on November 7th. If you believe that people should be able to use a recreational drug that humans have used for hundreds of years, you will vote yes on issue 2. Note, if you are not registered to vote in Ohio, the deadline to apply or renew your voter's registration for the Ohio 7th election was October 10th. It is too late to register, but it's not too late to do activism, and it's not too late to spread the message.